Hi there. Today we're going to talk about the Yamaha Aerox 155 version 2, and we'll talk about the specs of this bike and also some of the things that I like and not quite like after 1 year of ownership. This is Kevin and welcome to 2FDMoto. The Yamaha Aerox version 2 came out last 2021 and it came in the standard and the S version. The standard version is basically what we have here, but the S version actually has keyless ignition, ABS, and stop and start system. But besides those differences, the standard and the S version are basically the same bike. Powering the Aerox V2 is a 155cc single-cylinder, 4-stroke, 4-valve, single overhead cam engine that churns out 15.4 horsepower and a maximum torque of 13.8 Nm of torque at 65,000 RPM. All this power is delivered through a CVT belt transmission, making it one of the most powerful automatic motorcycle in its category. It is also liquid-cooled to keep the engine's temperature at bay, and they've also improved its compression ratio to 11.6:1, which means more power for you to play with. The engine is also equipped with Yamaha's very own VVA technology, which unfortunately doesn't translate to Vivilis ang Aerox. The variable valve actuation system allows the engine to take in more air and fuel once you reach 6,000 RPM, which gives you better power in high speeds. The Yamaha Aerox version 2 now has a 5.5-liter tank engine compared to the 4.6 liters of the previous versions. Now, this means you can get more kilometers in a single load of gasoline. And it is located down here, which gives the bike a much more lower center of gravity. However, because of this setup, wala siyang gulay board unlike other scooters in the Philippines. Don't worry though, because this bike comes with a spacious 28-liter seat trunk, which may or may not fit a full-face helmet. It also comes with a front compartment that is equipped with an electric socket, perfect for those who need to charge their phones along the ride. The Aerox V2 is also equipped with a relatively chunky set of rubber, with a 140/70 14-inch rear wheel and a 110/80 14-inch wheel at the front. Dampening the bumps are a set of telescopic fork in the front and dual spring suspension at the rear. They've also given the gauge panel a new facelift and the controls are relatively the same. In place of the passing light button is a singular menu button which makes browsing through your settings a lot simpler. The version 2 also received a body makeover but still retains that wide and menacing aura that Aerox came to be known for. The headlights and the brake lights are LEDs, but the turn signals for the front and the back are not. Although not LEDs, they are still bright enough to be seen in any riding conditions. The Yamaha Aerox version 2 is classified as a sports automatic scooter, and it kind of shows because the floorboard resembles a rear set foot peg. However, be reminded though that these metal foot pegs are for your passengers and not for you to become Valentino Rossi on public roads. Now, the handlebars are a bit narrower and lower, so it affects its handling in a more sportier and aggressive way. One of the things that I love with the Aerox V2 is the way it handles. The larger wheels and aggressive riding position gives you more leaning angle and a much more secured feel when taking on corners. It's no surprise why we see several racing competitions using the Aerox model. It feels like it was meant to be driven to your heart's desire. There is no denying as well that the Aerox 155 is a head turner and will surely add more to your poggy points when on the road. We can trace the Yamaha Aerox lineage back in 1997 where it was offered in Europe in either 50cc or 100cc. But in 2003, they discontinued the 100cc version and developed the two-stroke 50cc model with a new exhaust, tachometer, and a new type of ignition and CDI.
In 2013, they actually launched the updated Aerox with the updated body design as well, and also introduced the four-stroke engine. Now, in Southeast Asia, it started out as a 125cc bike and then moved on into the 155cc that we know today. Now, it is also offered in other countries such as Indonesia and Thailand under the Aerox 155 main. Also, Mio Aerox in the Philippines. If you go to Malaysia, you'll see that it's named NVX 155 or NVX 125 and 155 in Vietnam, and Aero Sports X 155 in China. Now, in the Philippines, it started off around 2017 or 2016, and it was redesigned in 2020, but more or less released back in 2021. The version 2 also came out with two special edition colors in the Philippines: the Yamaha 60th Anniversary GP, which is available in white, red, and yellow color schemes, and the Find Your Trip Limited Edition, which is inspired by Philippine colors and symbolisms. Some of the things that I like about the Aerox V2 is that it gives you more confidence when hitting twists and turns because of its larger set of wheels. More rubber means more contact on the road and a much more stable feel when turning. One of the things that I also like about the Aerox V2 is how well it drives in traffic. Now, I know the body looks, and it is actually wider compared to other scooters out there in the Philippines, but with a bit of practice and adjustments, you can weave in and out of traffic with ease, considering that it also has a good turn angle, so you don't need to worry being stuck in tight places. Although it only has a 155cc engine, I never felt that it lacked power. Considering its competitors out there, 15.4 horsepower is good enough. The engineering of this engine is also shared by Yamaha's other great bikes such as the XSR 155, the R15, the MT15, and NMAX, with a little bit of modification to best fit the Aerox 155's riding style. This means that they are quite confident with this engine and how they tuned it for the city drivers out there who wants to feel more sporty on the road, as automatic motorcycles are known for to be relaxed and easy to use vehicles. The way the bike is built feels different as well, and you can feel the years of experience Yamaha has put into this. Everything feels secure, and the way this bike is put together gives you that premium feel. The seat is quite comfortable and wide and kind of resembles a sports bike seat, which is wide in the back and narrower in the front, so you can tuck in your legs should you want to. The large digital gauge panel also comes with a load of settings and setup that you can easily modify. You have the engine lights, temperature lights, also the tachometer, and a large speedometer. You also get a clock here at the front, which is perfect for those who are always late like me. Besides these, you also get an odometer, 2 trip meters, an average fuel economy, and you can also monitor your oil and belt to remind you when you need to replace them. You can also adjust the backlight setting in 3 levels, but for me, the first one is bright enough on all riding conditions. It is also the first Aerox model to include Y-Connect. Those who like to monitor things through their phone can now access information about their Aerox at the touch of a screen. The app also reminds you for things that needs attention, such as your belt, battery, and oil. It also comes with a tracker so that you can locate where you last parked your bike. We all know that there is no perfect bike out there, and the Yamaha Aerox 155 is no exception. I know some of the things that I will be pointing out are medyo maselan na lang, pero these are the things that I found na medyo hindi ko nagustuhan with the version 2 of the Yamaha Aerox. The dual suspension at the back also contributes to the comfort level of this bike. Now, sports bikes generally need stiffer suspension to avoid bouncing and shaking while taking on sharp turns. You can easily resolve this though by switching over to adjustable suspensions to fit different road conditions. With the brakes as well, I wish that they have used a disc brake at the back instead of a drum brake, because considering this is a 6-digit priced bike. The setup of this bike also means that getting into your back wheel requires more labor than others.
To change the brake shoe, you have to remove the exhaust pipe and right swing arm to access the back wheel. Now, expect to visit your local mechanic more often if you don't have the necessary tools or know-how. The headlights are not that bright as well, despite them being LEDs already. Sure, there are auxiliary lights that you can install, but I kind of wish Yamaha used brighter headlights for this. In places where there is minimal light, I have no problem with it. But I often find myself wondering if my headlights are on when I ride in the streets where other light sources overpower my own headlights. Now, one of the challenges with this bike as well is its riding and wide seat. Now, I'm 5'4" and hindi ko pa rin siya ma-flat foot, as you can see. So if I put my leg up here, baka sakali. Pero kung 2 feet down, mahirap. Now, I know I have chunkier thighs than most rider, pero it is something that you might have to look into kung medyo hindi tayo kasing katangkaran ni Lebron. Overall, the Yamaha Aerox version 2 proves to be one of the best sports-inspired motorcycles out there. Now, I know it's not the one bike for all, but it does know how to cater its sports enthusiastic riders. Now, I know some of the things that I like and dislike about this bike can be repaired or maybe replaced by aftermarket parts. But if you're looking for a good and cheap automatic sports motorcycle, then the Yamaha Aerox version 2 might be the one for you. This is Kevin for 2FDMoto. See you on the next one.